Hello, I'm John McCardle and I have the privilege of being the mayor of Independence. I'm happy to be able to share with you an update on our community, what's been happening in the past 2 years, and some of our struggles, as well as many of our successes. It's been a tough couple of years. Many faced hardship, sadness, stress, and division. But Independence is strong and moving forward. Good things are happening and I'm excited about the future. It can be tough to see a path forward with everything that's been going on, but for a long time, Independence has been driving forward towards a vision with goals set by the people and an understanding of what we want our community to be. Last year, we adopted the Vision 2040 Action Plan, which engaged more than 2,000 people and reaffirmed the course our community is on. If you look at the original vision set by the community in 1996 and built upon in subsequent community plans, you'll recognize many things we take for granted today. We have worked hard to implement the community vision, and we're already hard at work on the tasks identified in Vision 2040. But the best thing to come from decades of hard work and doing good things for our community is our positive attitude. It's become the culture of Independence. The people of Independence are proactive, collaborative, neighborly, and welcoming. We recognize problems, understand our assets, figure out solutions, and get stuff done. It's part of our DNA. We're known for it statewide, and while we've made great strides in our decades of work, the COVID crisis has demonstrated the true and deeper benefits. Independence is emerging from COVID better off than many other communities. From the beginning of the COVID crisis, we've proactively looked for opportunities to support our residents and businesses directly and through partnerships with other organizations. Our city invested in downtown events and promotions like the Great Mother's Day Picnic, drive-in movies, and hashtag #TakeOutIndy to encourage people to continue supporting local business in whatever way they could. We brought people to local businesses by creating a new holiday light show downtown and distributing holiday gift guides filled with local products from local businesses. Winter is tough on our local businesses, even in normal times. So we lit up the downtown sidewalks with lovely cafe lights, which were something our business owners had specifically requested during the 2040 visioning process. Remember Scratch-Its? Well, they're back. Stop in any participating business and play the only lottery where you're guaranteed to win, and support local business while you're at it. And Monmouth is doing it too. COVID's been tough, but it's led to some wonderful collaborations between our two cities. We've worked together to distribute over $200,000 in COVID-supported grants to local businesses and helped business access an additional $300,000 in county and state grants. Recognizing the needs for business to pivot online or to new products, our two cities collaborated with Indie Idea Hub to create a technical assistance program that helped 30 small businesses in our community, representing almost 100 jobs. I'm pleased we have a local nonprofit working to support small business in our community. Our technical assistance project helped them secure additional funding to grow their programs locally and expand to Dallas and Fall City. When you work with good partners, 1 + 1 can equal 5. That's the approach we're taking with our ARPA funds. This investment represents an opportunity to accomplish needed infrastructure projects and provide future support for our community. We're joining with partners to help people now while establishing resources and programs that will support local residents and businesses long term. Because we have a community resourced vision, we know where our needs are, where we can be most impactful long term, and where we will invest. I mentioned at the beginning, we look to the future with our decision making, and it definitely paid off with our decision to create our own fiber broadband system. Where would our businesses, kids, and remote workers be without high quality, locally owned Mynet? While many rural communities are still struggling to figure out how to do remote learning without good internet, not only had we good service, but we got a state grant to connect the last 160 kids in town who otherwise wouldn't have service. Other communities frequently look to us hoping to create their own systems, but COVID has created a new urgency and understanding of the critical need that quality broadband access represents. I'm particularly pleased with the recent announcement that Mynet will be expanding to serve residents in unincorporated areas with the funding provided by Polk County. Our goals when we created Mynet in 2006 was to put us ahead of the curve, and boy have we succeeded. In spite of economic and social challenges, businesses have continued to choose independence. Central Plaza has a new face, new energy and upgrades. The Dollar Tree is opened and Grocery Outlet will be opening soon. A local manufacturer built a new warehouse on Stryker Road, doubling the size of their operation and hiring additional staff. Divine Distillers is relocated here from Salem and expanding their business. They'll have a distillery, winery, brewery, soda company, and cidery all in one building with a tasting room and a restaurant. Now that's talk about one-stop shopping. Coho Realty completed a beautiful renovation on their Main Street building, which really adds to the character of our downtown. Downtown also saw the opening of 5150 Tactical, Cruzanella, delicious food trucks, Country Financial, the Collection on Main, and Hearts Compass. I didn't get to cheer for them last year, so I want to say how happy I am for Gilgamesh, Silk Tie, and Parallel 45, all who opened in 2020. It says something about Independence when we had restaurants, pubs, and retail shops opening during COVID. The economy in downtown Independence has progressed to the point where we're seeing real interest in the completion of Independence Station. Local developer Aaron Young has submitted permit applications for the project, which he's renamed Station 203. And you can see a rendering of his revised plan for the building on the fence at the property. I think we're all hoping for a successful conclusion to this long-running saga. Small businesses are the foundation of our local economy, and we love to support entrepreneurs. We partnered with Indie Commons and Indie Idea Hub to support development of a shared-use commercial kitchen where food entrepreneurs can test local recipes and grow their business without having to invest in their own expensive commercial kitchens. If you're interested in new food businesses and food products, take a look at their Made in Polk County market. I'm particularly excited to see our museum open this year in its new ADA accessible downtown location. Veterans will now be able to access the Veterans Display, and new manager Natasha is already working on how to better integrate the museum into downtown happenings. She's also working to display diverse stories about our community and the people who have lived and worked here. The museum is like the history book of Independence. We've done really well writing the chapters about pioneers and covered wagons. We need to flesh out the chapters on Latinos and Native Americans, and we need to add a chapter on the Chinese. There are so many local stories to be told, and in March, you can hear many of them with our Hello Independence history program. You can have text message conversations with benches, street lights, and buildings downtown. They'll tell you some of the history of the community while helping us learn about the people visiting our downtown and their thoughts on issues, like parking. The COVID supply chain set back many construction projects, the museum among them, but we have still seen the completion of Independence Landing's development. Those 114 residential units were fully occupied a month after the building received occupancy. Osprey Point continues to progress and will begin leasing later this year. These developments were first envisioned in the community's 1996 downtown development plan and are helping fulfill the community's long-term vision of a vibrant and revitalized downtown. The Independence Landing development alone is bringing $6 million in new spending annually to Independence. There's a reason businesses are opening in downtown. It's because of these developments. You know, we have a great staff team here in Independence working together. They've bought into the ideals of good customer service, creative problem solving, and getting things done. Our police department has been accredited for 7 years. This is not a small thing. It's a recognized higher standard of professionalism that only a few of the smaller departments in our state have achieved. We should all be very proud of this. Through quality leadership, our department continues to provide quality service to our community. To represent the diversity of our community, they embrace the values of inclusion, respect, and going out and getting out of their car and actually talking with people on the street. They're another example of Independence values in action. Our Public Works Department does all the things nobody notices, from fixing leaks at the bottom of a trench to installing lights downtown, supporting events, maintaining our parks, and everything in between. And doing this even on those dark, stormy nights when the rest of us are warm in our beds at home. The libraries had to change how they served the public these last couple of years, and under new manager Patrick, staff continue to serve residents however they can, creating online video programs and tutorials, running curbside pickups for borrowed materials, and loaning Wi-Fi hotspots to people who need better internet coverage at home. I'm also very, very proud that our city has once again received a Certificate of Achievement for Excellence in Financial Reporting from the Government Finance Offers Association. You know, it's no accident we have received this award 6 years in a row. Our auditors say we're in good financial standing, and these awards demonstrate our commitment to keeping the city's finances transparent and accessible. The financial plan that we made years ago are paying off, performing like they're supposed to, and exceeding our expectations. Fiscal responsibility is a core value of the community identified in Vision 2040, and we're clearly meeting that goal. While I'm pleased with how our community is continuing to move forward in spite of the many headwinds, challenges remain to be confronted. Many of those challenges were identified as community priorities in the 2040 vision, and COVID has only exacerbated that need. Housing, availability, and affordability. It's a statewide issue. We're working to ensure our water, sewer, and transportation infrastructure is sufficient to meet the supply side of the housing equation. For example, we're now irrigating a farmer's field with treated wastewater, which postpones the need for an expensive treatment plant. A goal of the 2040 vision was to provide additional types of housing that are accessible to all income levels. Most of the current growth is happening in a mixed density zone in the south part of town, which allows a wide variety of housing types. We will soon launch a process to create a housing strategy for our community. We want to make sure there is a place in town for your kids, employees, your grandchildren, for everyone to live. Transportation is a challenge, and I know it. I drive on the same streets you do. Having a state highway run through our community can be challenging. Monmouth Street may look like a state street, but it's actually owned and managed by ODOT. The city isn't allowed to touch it. I, along with others, have been expressing our concerns about the potholes on Monmouth Street and encouraging prompt action. Let me tell you, we're working on it. In 2021, we completed a new transportation systems plan to prepare for the future and prioritize our current needs. Our community is split by creeks and a railroad, which can make it hard to get around. Creating a new crossing is a major undertaking, but we are working on designs for a bridge crossing over the South Fork of Ash Creek in the southwest part of Independence. Funding and building this bridge will be a long-term project, but it will address a priority and need identified in the transportation system plan, and can reduce congestion on both 7th Street and Monmouth Street. We're also working to expand ways for people to get around without a car. Independence, being flat, is a bikeable town, and we want people to feel safe letting their kids ride to school or to the park. An ODOT grant is funding design work on a southern extension of the Willamette River Trail, which would connect to Corvallis Road at the southern city limits. The trail through Inspiration Garden has been extended through a new linear park to the south, and new developments will construct trails along the South Fork of Ash Creek. You know, we've always had a positive relationship with our fellow government folks in the community, but it quickly became apparent that COVID would require an increased level of cooperation, consultation, collaboration, and communication with a focus on serving the needs of our larger community. Beginning in March of 2020, a community leadership team began meeting. This group consists of the mayors and city managers of Independence and Monmouth, the superintendent of the Central School District, chief of the Polk County Fire District, president of Western Oregon University, SEDCOR, Representative Paul Evans, and Senator Deb Patterson. For the first year, the group met twice a week. After a year, Meetings were down to once a week, and now they're down to every 2 weeks. The group shares information, expertise, and resources, and the strength of a common community response has been a force multiplier. The group collaborated to hold community listening sessions, create and distribute videos and signage, facilitate contact tracing and bulk purchases of PPE, coordinate and support vaccination efforts, and counsel other projects, large and small. The work needed to be done. It was more than any one of us could do by ourselves. So we worked together and got it done. Even if it was outside of traditional lines, it's the Independence way. It's the Oregon way. We continue to collaborate with Monmouth and Western Oregon University to develop a plan to run a trolley that would link our two communities. I want to thank Representative Evans and Senator Patterson for helping us fund this important tool to get people around our community more efficiently. Homelessness. It's an ongoing concern in many Oregon communities, including ours. We're working with many partners on a county-wide level to respond to this crisis and how to do it locally, while also working to align resources more broadly for people in need. We believe rural homelessness is different than urban homelessness, and we're working towards a solution to help people from becoming homeless in the first place. I believe that this is the United States, and people should not have to live without a safe place to be. The mental health of our youth has always been a concern before COVID, and I'm so proud of how our school district has responded, making resource providers available at all our schools, including a bilingual, bicultural provider. COVID has exacerbated the issues and made it harder to apply solutions, but that doesn't mean we stop trying. Together with Monmouth and Polk County Resource Center, we're working to bring resource navigators to help our residents engage with services they need to get through these difficult times. You know, it was disappointing to lose our city manager, a person who shared our vision and passion for independence. But his family needs came first. So we're in the midst of a search for a new city manager. They need to have the right philosophy, the right approach, and a customer service mentality. It's a major focus of the City Council now. Good leadership makes great things happen. With all the challenges, I'm still optimistic about the future. I was happy for a mostly normal Independence Days and Summer Series last year. I'm looking forward to throwing true Independence style events this coming summer. The current environment in the world is very difficult. However, we continue to respect, to listen, to seek common ground, to accept others, and work towards common goals. We live in too small of a town to not talk to each other. Interpersonal relationships matter. I and many others will continue to emphasize this and live this strength. Things are hard, but we're going to keep working. We will keep doing the things the Independence way, because the Independence way works. Others around the state are watching us and are trying to emulate the success that's happening here. I'm an optimist. I believe that America is the land of opportunity. We're at the best when challenged. It won't be without pain or difficulty, but we're coming out on the other side stronger and better. We have been and will continue to rise to the occasion. Independence, our best days are ahead. Thanks so much.